Have you ever sat there wondering, how could she say she loves me and still be with another man? It sounds impossible, doesn't it? Like love and betrayal should never exist in the same sentence. But here's the hard truth most men never want to face. Love and loyalty aren't the same thing. A woman can genuinely love you and still betray the relationship in ways that cut deep. And no, it's not because you forgot to take out the trash or missed her birthday, though those little things don't help either. It's something far more subtle, something that builds quietly over time. In today's video, we're peeling back the emotional curtain to understand why women sometimes cheat even when their hearts still care. This isn't about blame or fear. It's about awareness, about understanding what most men overlook until it's too late. Because it's rarely the fights that destroy a relationship. It's the silence. It's the moments when she smiles, but her eyes are somewhere else. It's when she stops asking you to talk because she already knows you won't really listen. If you've ever been blindsided by betrayal or a breakup, this is going to hit home. So stay with me, because missing just one emotional signal could cost you everything. Let's talk about what really happens behind closed hearts. Number 1. Emotional disconnection. You know what's truly dangerous in a relationship? Not the fights. Not even the silence after an argument. It's when everything looks fine on the surface, but deep down, she's already drifting away. Most men assume women cheat because they stop loving. But more often, it's because they stop feeling connected. She might still love you deeply, but she no longer feels you. You share the same space, yet she feels completely alone inside it. Maybe you've been working long hours to provide. Maybe stress has made you emotionally distant. She understands. She's not asking for perfection. She's asking to feel seen, heard, and felt. The danger begins when another person enters the picture, someone who listens without judgment, who notices her mood, who asks how she's really doing. That small moment of being understood reminds her what connection feels like. And that's how it starts, not with desire but with emotional oxygen. One crack in the wall, one emotional opening, and she starts to drift toward where she feels seen again. That's emotional cheating. And it cuts far deeper than physical betrayal, because once her heart has left, her body might still be there, but the bond is gone. So ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you truly looked at her, not as your partner, not as a mother, but as a woman? Don't wait for someone else to see what you've stopped noticing. Let's keep going. Number 2. Emotional revenge. Now, let's talk about something most men never see coming. Emotional revenge. A woman doesn't have to hate you to betray the relationship. She might still love you, still laugh with you, still care for you. But deep inside, she's carrying wounds you never noticed. Maybe you dismissed her feelings one too many times. Maybe you made a joke at her expense in front of others. Maybe you were too busy during a moment that meant everything to her, and when she said it's fine, she didn't mean it. Here's the truth. Emotional pain doesn't disappear. It stores. It settles quietly inside her heart until one day, she meets someone who listens without interrupting. Someone who makes her feel visible again. Someone who gives her a hug not just with arms, but with presence. And in that moment, she might cross a line. Not because she planned to cheat, but because a part of her whispers, "Finally, someone sees me." It's not about lust. It's not even about desire. It's about emotional justice. The kind that doesn't scream or punish. It simply seeks to balance the pain. She doesn't want to hurt you. She just wants her pain to mean something. And sometimes, validation from the wrong person feels like healing until it breaks everything. So, ask yourself, what emotional wounds have you left unspoken in her heart? Let's go deeper. Number 3. Emotional starvation. Here's something few men understand. Presence isn't the same as connection. You might think you're doing everything right. You work hard, you come home, you stay faithful. But love isn't just about being there. It's about being present. A woman can love you and still feel emotionally starving. Not because you're gone, but because she feels unseen. She doesn't crave a new man. She craves new feelings. She wants to feel alive again. To feel noticed, heard, appreciated. And emotional starvation doesn't arrive loudly, it whispers. It shows up in tiny moments. When her coworker listens without glancing at his phone. When a stranger notices she changed her hair. When someone asks how she's really doing and waits for her answer. Those small gestures feed something deep inside her. They remind her she still matters. That's not about flirting. That's about nourishment. Because emotional oxygen keeps love alive. And if she starves too long, she won't lash out. She'll simply fade.
She'll stop asking.
She'll stop reaching. Until one day, someone else becomes the meal she was starving for. So, ask yourself this: are you feeding her heart, or just sharing space? Let's keep going. It gets even deeper from here. Number 4. Repressed desires, the silent time bomb. Sometimes, a woman doesn't cheat to leave you. She cheats to find herself again. See, in a world that constantly tells women to be composed, quiet, and selfless, many end up suppressing their deepest desires, their sensuality, their fire, their emotional complexity. Not because they want to, but because they believe that's what a good woman does. She tones herself down. She becomes the caretaker, the listener, the supporter. She swallows her needs in the name of love, loyalty, or peace. But here's the truth: what's buried isn't gone. It's just waiting. Over time, that buried part begins to stir. She starts to remember the woman she used to be, the one who laughed too loud, danced without shame, spoke her truth boldly, and wanted more from life. And one day, that part refuses to stay silent. It's not about destroying the relationship. It's about reclaiming the self she lost inside it. This isn't betrayal. It's resurrection. It's like holding your breath for years and finally gasping for air. When she meets someone who sees her, who awakens the parts of her she's silenced for too long, something cracks open. Not because she stopped loving you, but because she forgot how to love herself. So the real question isn't, why did she cheat? It's, what part of herself did she have to bury to stay with you? That's where the healing begins. Let's go deeper, because the next reason isn't about rediscovery. It's about escape. Number 5. Fantasy escape syndrome. Let's be honest, even in the most loving relationships, life can become a routine. The same house, the same responsibilities, the same conversations. Over time, the spark that once felt electric turns into quiet comfort, then quiet distance. This is where something called fantasy escape syndrome often begins. It's when a woman isn't running away from you, she's running toward a feeling she's lost. A version of herself that used to feel alive, spontaneous, desired, and free. It's not about betrayal. It's about oxygen. When reality starts to feel suffocating, even a small taste of that fantasy, a deep conversation, an unexpected compliment, a sense of being seen again, can feel intoxicating. Sometimes, it's not about the person she meets. It's about what that interaction represents: possibility. The possibility of being seen as desirable again. Of being wanted, not just needed. Of being interesting, not just dependable. Love doesn't always die with a bang. Sometimes it fades under the weight of predictability. And when she finds someone who reminds her what freedom and desire once felt like, it's not about leaving you. It's about finding her breath again. So ask yourself, has life with you become something she's desperate to escape, or something she can breathe in again? That answer determines whether your relationship feels like a home or a cage. Let's keep going, because the next reason goes even deeper into the emotional core of why women cheat even when they still love you. Number 6. Curiosity and validation. Sometimes, a woman doesn't cheat out of pain or neglect. It's not always about what's missing. Sometimes, it's about curiosity, the quiet human kind. She wonders, do I still have it? Am I still desirable? Do I still make someone's eyes light up? In a world that constantly tells women that their value fades with age, that beauty equals youth and worth, this question grows louder with every passing year. It's not about vanity. It's about reassurance. A soft ache to feel wanted again, not just loved, but longed for. Because love says, you matter. But desire whispers, you still excite. Today, validation is always just a tap away. A compliment from a stranger. A playful message on Instagram. A like that feels like oxygen after months of silence. She's not necessarily trying to leave you. She's trying to remind herself that she still matters, that she's still seen. And sometimes that small ego boost or harmless spark can grow into something bigger. Not because she's chasing love elsewhere, but because she stopped recognizing her own reflection in your eyes. That's how emotional distance begins. Quietly, gradually, invisibly. So ask yourself, when was the last time you made her feel chosen? Not just appreciated, but truly desired. Like she was still the woman you'd chase all over again if you met her today. Number 7. The loneliness inside stable relationships. Now, let's talk about a kind of loneliness that almost no one warns you about, the kind that exists inside relationships that look perfect on the outside. You've built a life together. The house is in order. The bills are paid. The routines are predictable and calm. There's no chaos. No drama. Everything is fine. But that's exactly the problem. Because sometimes fine is where love goes to die quietly. She doesn't feel unsafe or unloved. She just doesn't feel alive. She's not looking for fights or tension. What she's craving is energy, the pulse of real connection. The laughter you used to share, the silence that felt comfortable instead of distant, the spontaneous affection that used to appear without planning. Those small, alive moments that made your relationship feel like a story instead of a schedule. Over time, when that spark fades, she doesn't walk away from you. She drifts away from herself. That's the most dangerous kind of affair, the one born from emptiness, not anger. It's when a woman looks around and says, I have everything except me. She doesn't necessarily want more. She just wants to feel like herself again. The version of her who smiled without trying, danced in the kitchen, and felt seen, not just supported. So ask yourself this. Is your relationship truly secure, or is it silently suffocating both of you under the weight of routine? The final truth. So, what do you do with all this insight? How do you protect your relationship without turning into someone who monitors, questions, or tries to control? The answer is simple but not easy. Stop trying to control her and start learning to connect with her. See her not just as your partner, but as a full human being, a woman with emotions that sometimes contradict themselves, needs that evolve, and a depth that can't be measured in checklists or expectations. Be present, not only physically, but emotionally. It's not just about being there for big moments, but for the quiet, everyday ones too. Because sometimes the way you look at her when she walks into the room says more than 1,000 words ever could. Reflect her value back to her. Make her feel chosen, not just once, but again and again. Keep things alive by talking, laughing, growing, and respecting her inner world. Protect her heart, but also give her the space to breathe and be herself. Most women don't cheat because they stop loving you. They cheat because they stop seeing themselves reflected in your eyes. But when a woman feels seen, known, and emotionally safe, she won't go looking elsewhere because she won't need to. So don't just love her. Learn her. See her. Show up for her. If this message resonated with you, don't just nod and scroll away. Reflect on it. Act on it. Grow from it. And if you're ready to go deeper into love, emotional intelligence, and relationship mastery, subscribe now. We're just getting started, and the next video will change the way you understand connection forever.